Hello, everybody, and welcome to the I Am IT Geek YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz Dandazov. I'm the IT Geek. This is a break in your from your regularly sort of scheduled programming that I have. This is not an SC100 video, so kind of taking a I'm not taking a break, but today I'm actually supposed to be doing another type of video. I'm going back to my tech book reviews. I've had a lot of a lot of people asking me about reviewing different books. So yeah, I'm back to doing. I've got a couple planned over the next few weeks, and I'm gonna publish them on a Friday. So it'll be a nice little end to the week. So this is the first of like three or four that I've got planned over the next couple of weeks. So today I am going to be reviewing a book called Microsoft Azure Fundamentals Certification and Beyond. Now this is a book by Steve Miles, the Microsoft MVP. I've not had the pleasure of meeting Steve yet, but I've had a lot of interaction with him on socials and LinkedIn and stuff like that. So very knowledgeable person, and he's quite a bit of a veteran with the books. A couple of books I'm going to be kind of going through ones that he's done. I think I've done. I think I might have done a review already of the AZ 800 books that he did as well. So he's a bit of a veteran when it comes to book writing and authorship. And this is a recent book that he did around your fundamental certification. So this is probably a level down from a technical perspective of what I normally review and what I normally read. And I'll be honest, I'm going to be brutally honest. I wasn't expecting what I got in a very good way. Because again, AZ 900 is a fundamental level topic, right? So the exam itself is not very technical. There's no labs. There's no real practical element to it. However, the key element in this book is the last two words in the title, which is and beyond. And as you're going to see, as we're going to talk about now, Steve really does a great job of not only putting across the information for the actual exam that's going to help you prepare, but also for people who, because again, the AZ900 isn't just for techies. It can be for project managers or business develop, business analysts who are working with cloud. It's a very good exam for them to understand some of the fundamentals. But if you're technical, Steve does a lot here. He includes labs, he includes demos, he includes a lot of information that's going to help you learn and for that next jump into the sort of associate level. So it kind of prepares you a little bit for that, which I really found interesting and really interesting to read. So again, straight off the bat, who is this book for? Steve tells us this book's for those in sort of commercial, operational, or technical roles. So again, it's not just technical roles. As I mentioned, commercial, operational could be PMs, could be business, business developers, business analysts, etc. And if you're looking to pass that certification, the AZ900 fundamental exam, that exam's intended for candidates who are just beginning to work with cloud-based solutions and services. Again, anyone who already has certification is looking to be more hands-on and practical as well. So again, that's that and beyond part. So it's not just catered for the exam; it's actually catered if it does have a hands-on element to it. Which for a fundamental book, if I'm honest with you, for me, I think is great. And when I before I started reading it, that was my concern. Oh, is this gonna be a keep my attention because it's going to be all very beginner level stuff, which is fine. I don't mind reading that for the purpose of doing the review. But how is it going to keep a user engaged and a reader engaged who's still at that level? This very much does it, and I'm going to why. So again, it goes in a bit of an introduction into what the book covers, the chapters and what they're about. And again, it covers all the exam topics. But what's important is within the actual chapters what it covers, and that's what I want to get into. So again, just your standard sort of how to get in touch, share your thoughts, etc. Now let's get into chapter one. So this is your cloud concepts, right? So again, very beginner level, but again, Steve does a really good job of explaining it. I love this diagram. When I saw this, I laughed my head off because it's just very much it's using the concept of so what Steve's doing here is using the concept of evolution to try and explain that the scientific monkeys to apes to men, that sort of evolution sort of concept to explain the evolution of cloud computing, which I think is amazing. I think it's a great connection, and this really made me laugh. But again, just that image itself is so explanatory and it's so easy, especially when you first start in cloud. It's really easy to understand, and he does this throughout. Really good diagrams that really help the architecture here, trying to explain that using like a sort of a graph sort of methodology here. very interesting. It kind of makes you think about it, and very easy to digest. And that's the important thing about reading books. You know, that the information needs to be digestible and easy to follow, which this for me does. And again, just keeps on. And this is the responsibility. And I'm using this chapter as an example, but this is throughout the book. And this is that responsibility sort of matrix and model that Microsoft share. And obviously Steve's put it into his own sort of diagram here. But again, very easy to understand, very clear about the on-prem, IaaS, PaaS and SaaS services and whose responsibility they are. So again, he does this throughout the book and explains really well the different concepts, delivery models here. So I really enjoyed this, if I'm honest with you, this whole concept and this whole way of Steve's way of explaining. But what was amazing for me now, as you know, when I'm reviewing these books, I'm very much I like to see sort of questions and knowledge checking and stuff like that. Because I think it's important that for especially with these exam books, the reader needs to make sure they're understanding what they're reading and what they're seeing. And what Steve does really well here, and it's a bit different. It's not a knowledge check; it's a skills check. And after the summary and after the further reading bits, which again really important, it's just a bunch of questions to make you think. It's not like yes or no, true or false, or specific. You got multiple choice. It's actually giving you things to think about. So list three public cloud computing provider platforms. Explain hybrid cloud approach. And what I think Steve's asking us to do is just get a piece of paper and write them down. And that in itself is a really good way of trying to check your knowledge. And just it's a very different way from the other books I've read. So I thought this was really good and a very interesting way of doing it. So kudos again to Steve for that approach. Very different. And again, as we go down the book, we're in chapter 2 now, benefits. Again, the same diagrams, very much helping explain, helping break up the text. The fundamental stuff is very theory heavy, right? And you need to somehow break that information up. And he does that really well. And we're not even getting to the best bit yet. So as we go down, still similar format, great. But then we get down to the first exercise. This is a thought exercise, which I thought was a very interesting approach. And again, it's not a practical element. We'll get to that in a second. It's allowing you to reflect on the information that you've been presented to you. So making you think about the different things that you've read in the benefits of cloud computing chapter. Very, 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 very interesting way of doing it. And then again, we get down to the skills check again, very similar and really good concept. The best bit for me in this whole book, and I'm going to come towards the end of my sort of my review here, is I just want to try and find the first one. Here we go. So when we get to chapter 4, we actually start looking at core Azure resources, hands-on exercises. I love hands-on exercises, and I was very, very surprised when I saw this in a fundamental level book, because you don't expect it. I didn't expect it, and I was very, very surprised, and I loved it. And this is that and beyond part in the title, isn't it? There are no labs in the Az-900 exam. You're not expected to know anything hands-on because it's fundamental level. It's theoretical. But what Steve's doing here is he's those techies or those people that do want to prepare for that next level. It's giving you a bit of hands-on experience straight away. Creating a VNet, storage account, VM, container. Great. I loved it. And it gives you all the steps as well. So for me, this is the icing on top of what is already an amazing book. And I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. For a fundamental level book, honestly, I'll be honest, I did not think it would keep my attention, but I loved reading all the theory and how he breaks it down with the images, the check your skills, skills check, and with these labs, and these are throughout the book now. You can go chapter 6 here because we're staying technical, hands-on, and this is more sort of looking at installing PowerShell and stuff like that, and all the Azure CLI stuff, and it's the same all the way down. So massive kudos to Steve for that. I honestly really could not highly recommend this book enough. I'm going to put the link in my description for where you can get it. I strongly recommend if you're wanting to get into Azure and you're looking to do the exam, but also even if you want to learn a little, you're not too sure of cloud and Azure, and you're a techie, you might be first line or whatever. You want to get into cloud, this is the book for you, because it just combination of the skills check, the way Steve's explained the content, the way he breaks it down, and the labs is just, I've not seen it in a fundamental book before. So I very highly recommend it. I'll put the link to Steve's socials as well in the description. Highly recommend you, get in touch with Steve. Very knowledgeable person, Microsoft MVP, and he has written a few more books. And we're going to be showing. I'm going to be reviewing the AI book in a few weeks. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed that review. I've enjoyed doing it. It's a nice little change up from the exam topics, if I'm honest. Like I said, every Friday for the next few weeks I will be, and I'm going to be reviewing more books. I'm going to try and make it a regular thing on a Friday, reviewing the techie books. Very much enjoyed this. So thank you, Steve, for doing this amazing book, and well done. That's it. So thank you for joining me, and until next time, goodbye.